precise one. They wanted me and nobody fighting me. Phone ringing and I tell them it's ice. I got wifey on blinging, she ice. Freeze, photo.
It's been a very long time since I've made a video, and why is Blue was unfortunately in an accident. I was riding down the street, had a car next to me, a lady pulled out in front. We were going probably about, you know, somewhere around the speed limit, and unfortunately the woman who pulled out, she whipped a U-turn, cutting both cars off, and she was unaware that we were coming, apparently, she said. And I did my best to avoid her, which I did. I think I probably saved her life and mine, or at least the car from being totaled, and I was able to dodge her, but not without hitting the car next to me. By dodging her, I only mean I didn't total her car. I still nicked her on my side mirror, but, you know, everybody was able to walk away from the accident, and that's truly what's important. My daughter was with me, a little shaken up, but we did very well. I actually drove away from the accident. I had to go and get another rim though, because my Vision Forged wheel was scuffed up. The tire had came off the wheel, but the wheel was still intact on the vehicle. The rim was scuffed up really bad. Still no cracks or anything like that I could tell. It just know it was scuffed up. And I went home. Since I was close to home, I grabbed one of my old wheels, put it on, and drove the car home, and then had the car towed to the body shop because of the damage to the fender. I didn't want it to cut the tire. So it took a while to get all that repaired and settled, but we did get it settled. The woman whose insurance took care of everything, and here we are, we're back now. So we're back in Blue, and we're going to be making more content. I've been getting a lot of you guys' support on Instagram. Some people hit me up on Facebook, and I appreciate it, guys. I really love being a part of this community and giving my insight on things. I'm not a professional, but you know, I like to tell people how I feel about things, and see if, you know, other people are in agreement with me or whatever. But at the end of the day, you know, we're all just people, and I appreciate everybody who's always, you know, hit me up and just kind of seen how I'm doing or the car's doing. I've been getting some really good questions that I want to address. I was hoping to address it in this video, but I think I'm going to address one particular topic in another video. Yes, I'm still getting questions about quarter-mile times in this vehicle on 93. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to really get anything done before the accident, and now I will be able to get some things done. I'm going to get to the track and kind of see what these times are for these cars with the Stage 3 tune. So this video I want to focus on drivability and just living with this tune, because it might feel like getting a hybrid turbo is gonna make the car, yeah, it'll make it fast, but faster, I should say. It's already a quick car, but it's gonna make it faster. But is it livable? Like, am I like always in, you know, in boost, or is the shifts really terrible and uncomfortable when I just want to get to work? Some people like myself want to get the most out of this vehicle without making it not drivable on an everyday or daily driven, and that's where I kind of am with it, because though I have other cars I could drive, I really enjoy driving this one. So I still want it to be drivable until I get something else that I really, really enjoy driving, like this one. So I don't know. I'm not saying I wouldn't do a full frame turbo. I definitely want my vehicle, my S5, to be as quick as it can be and still be reliable. I think that's what I'm really looking for my car to still be reliable. The good news is with the Stage 3 turbo, I feel like you get that. The car still has comfort. I'm driving in comfort. I do drive a lot more in comfort, mostly for the gas mileage. I've been able to keep it around 22, 23, 24 miles per gallon. I think 25 sometimes. And I haven't done any real serious highway driving. Man, the sun is bright. I haven't done any real serious highway driving that's not in traffic. If you know anything about the DMV area, when I go to work in the morning, 95 is it's just basically stop and go, stop and go, stop and go. So it's not really a good way to test highway mileage. But between a combination of city and highway, I'll be getting like between 23 and 25 miles per gallon when I'm in comfort D mode. When I'm in dynamic mode, I tend to hang around 21, and by dynamic I mean dynamic within D drive mode. I hang around 21, and then it's really tough to get out of 18 or 19 in dynamic sport. It really is hard to get into the 20s. It can be done, but you're pretty much just feathering it everywhere you go. And if you have it in dynamic S, you probably are playing around a little bit, so you're gonna see a lot of the 14 to 15 miles per gallon. So that's pretty important when it comes to daily driving your vehicle, and you can somewhat maintain that close to what I used to get before tune. Actually, on stage 1 tune, I was getting like 29. I didn't really check it on stage 2, but 23, I haven't had the opportunity to get 29. It was easier to get 29 because I was driving to Virginia Beach at one point, so it was a lot of highway driving in comfort mode. I was able to get like 29, almost 30. I do know some S5s and S4s and the smaller vehicles, they are able to get 29, 30, no issue. This one weighs just a little bit more, so it's a little bit more challenging. It can't be done. And then the shifts, yeah, they're a little bit more, more pronounced in comfort mode than you would think. But actually, it's still very, 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 very drivable. And sometimes the transmission is shifting, way sooner than, as it should. So you don't even feel anything at that point. But when you step on a little bit, you can feel the delay in the shift, as you should in comfort mode, to still give you that acceleration. Cars seem, more comfortable. So you still get all that. It's not a bad thing. It's a great thing, actually. That's part of what it means to, own a vehicle, and you want as much out of it without sacrificing drivability to a point to where the car literally can only be driven to the track or trailered. So you don't have to worry about that with stage 3. Basically, keep a lot of the stock feel when you're not on it. Of course, when you switch to dynamic mode, you can play in it, and it's like a whole nother vehicle, and that's amazing. It's like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, and I love that. Even though E85 has become more available to me, 93 still gives me the same thrill. It's a little bit faster than what E85 on stage 2 was. So, I've been pretty satisfied with 93, but I have put in E85 and played with that a little bit more. I've got a little bit more respect for it than I did in my previous video, where I was kind of saying just ignore it and go straight to E60. It's still nice to be able just to fill the tank up and go. And E60 is a nice little treat that I give myself every once in a while. And every time I go into E60 tune, it's just so much different. It's just so great. I love it, and it just puts that evil grin on my face, like. And then the way the car sounds. What do you guys think that car actually sounds like? The engine. I think it sounds a little like like a high revving bike. It's not screaming like a bike, but it just has that tune like one. I think it sounds amazing. Again, I only have a pre-muffler delete. That's it. So, I don't have a full exhaust system. Maybe one day I'll get one just for looks and sound, but it really isn't important for the tune. But a lot of people are still kind of confused on this E60 thing as to why E60 makes more power than E85. And it really, like I said before, is that it comes down to the amount of fuel our system can put out. And when it comes to E85 and it needing more E85 to do what it do, our system just is kind of like tapped out. So to make up for it, they basically mix in some 93 to help get that volumetric up, and so our system can keep up. And that's pretty much what it comes down to. E60 is faster because they're able to get more fuel through the system, whereas E85 would just require so much volumetric of fuel to make more power. So in theory, E85 in a perfect world would make more power than E60. The problem is our fuel system is not capable of keeping up with the demand that would be required for E85 to make more power. Any check engine lights, anything like that? No, I haven't got anything like that. Anything weird. Nothing's broke except for this stupid N80 sensor thing, performance evap sensor thing. I've gotten that code a couple times, and then I went and replaced the I replaced the N80, I think it's N80 valve, purge valve, performance purge valve. I replaced it, and I still got the code later, which kind of irked my nerves. So I've heard of somebody saying that they replaced it twice. The dealership replaced it twice. The first time they said that it was defective, or what they replaced it with was defective, and so they had to replace it again. I will say when I turned the light off, it took a long time for it to come back. It took almost about 3 weeks. 3 weeks for it to come back, I think. 3 or 4 weeks to come back. About fill up the tank like twice, and it came back. I wish I had more information on how to really resolve that, but for me, replacing the N80 valve did not. I do know they say it comes from overfilling your tank. So you know, when the tank actually stops pumping gas, you know, it makes that click noise and stops fueling. But then some of us will try to cap it off by squeezing it and trying to get more into the tank. Supposedly that causes the raw fuel to go into the canister, the charcoal canister, and you'll get a code for that, which is the same code that says purge valve performance, something like that. I'll put the actual code in the description, so if you've gotten it before, you can help somebody out with how to understand and fix that problem. That would be great, because I've replaced the N80 valve, and I think it's N80, right? I hope I'm saying it right. But I replaced that valve myself, and I'm still getting that code. So maybe it's something else. I don't know. I'll figure it out. It doesn't affect performance. It's not tune related, as people get this code without a tune, and the mileage seems to not matter either. Hold on, almost missed my turn. I gotta sign my daughter up for soccer real quick. I'll be right back. All right, sorry about that. One of my girls is getting signed up for soccer, the youngest one, and had to go handle that. She's going to join. Here's her soccer shirt, so excited for that. Okay, so if you are being kind of concerned with getting stage 3 for your vehicle because swapping out the turbo seems very not intrusive, but it does seem like you know, you're kind of tearing the engine apart a little bit, and you're installing, you know, a replacement part, and you're like, you know, you're nervous because, you know, these engines are very expensive, these vehicles are very expensive, and you just, sometimes you might feel like, oh, something bad is going to happen, and everything like that, or the car's just not going to be drivable anymore, and the whole experience of comfort and luxury in your vehicle is just going to be gone, and what problems are people having, what's breaking, like all that runs through your head, and I kind of felt like that in my head while I was installing my turbo. And I will tell you that the first drive I was very nervous. I actually, and I didn't tell nobody, but I actually did break something because I did not tighten something all the way down, and I broke a piece of one of the cylinder heads that holds down the high pressure fuel pump. And luckily enough, where I broke it was at the top, so I just needed a longer bolt to catch the threads that were further down, and I haven't had any problems since. But before it broke, it was making a tapping noise, and it paranoided me. Like, I was very paranoid. I was like, what is it? Am I getting that valve lift issue that people talk about? Like what's going on? Like, oh my God, like this was the dumb idea. Like, I was cussing myself out. Turned out to be just my negligence, not, you know, and actually called up Jeremy from It's Pronounced Valve, and he actually told me, hey, check, make sure everything's tightened down. He said it to me, and I was like, yeah, man, everything's tight. Can't think of what it'd be. And it was one of the high pressure fuel pump screws that I didn't tighten all the way down, so it was tapping loose until it broke a piece of the cylinder head where it screws down into, and I was able to kind of fix that, right? Because cylinder head, valve cover head thing is expensive. It's actually hard to get. Either way, but I was paranoid, right? But I got that fixed, and then the next thing that happened to me was the charge pipe blew off while I was driving, and it had the loudest sound I could think of. What is going on here? But it had the loudest sound, and then no power whatsoever. I'm driving to work, and I'm just like, oh no, like, whoa, what is it? In my head, everything's playing. I started hitting the gas, listening for the turbo whine. I could hear the turbo whine, but I had no power. What happened? Like, this never happened before. Well, this actually happened when I installed my intercooler, and I just thought it was a turbo problem because I was just so like nervous about everything. But then after I drive, and I just realized, it feels stock. Like, in a sense of reliability, it feels stock. Is there a part in my engine getting beat up right now? It's possible. I don't think I rag on my car too crazy, but it's possible there's some stress on something. I don't think so. I think that these tuners like IE and 034, I want to say they put effort in. I know 034 talks about putting effort into checking safety, and I'm almost positive IE does the same thing as well. When it comes to testing these tunes out, I wouldn't. Like they say, they're in the business to make money, and blowing up engines is not a good business to be in. Could I be shaving miles off of my engine? Sure, but eating a cheeseburger shaves months off of my life, and I eat them cheeseburgers, I'll tell you that. Some of y'all say I eat too many cheeseburgers, and I know my wife, she loves it. So anyway, I think that's pretty much it. And I guess I'm trying to say that if you're trying to get the most out of your B9 and still have it drivable, I say if you have the money, or you're budgeting for it, you have a budget for it, I say go for it. Yes, it's a little bit more expensive, and I think it's worth it. I think the joy that it would bring would be worth it, and the fun and just everything. I think it if you're a car enthusiast, you'll love it. I say go for it. I mean, they say you can have a 10-second Q5 with it. That's Q5, I should say. Go for it. Have fun, enjoy life, but be safe while you're doing it. If you like this video, please hit the subscribe button if you made it to the end, and the like button. Please, please, please. I am so close, so close. Come on, listen to me when I tell you I'm so close to becoming a YouTube partner, or whatever they call them. I only need about 150 more subscribers. I was at about 852, and I have to be at 1,000. So please share this video, so I can just take this channel to the next level, by getting a little bit of money from YouTube. I do have a Patreon page. It's pretty much collecting cobwebs. I've never been one to beg for money, so I will definitely not do that here. But if you feel you're feeling generous in your heart, and you want to support the channel, so I get some equipment like mics and more cameras, better lighting, things like that, just to kind of bring you better content, and you can be part of that Patreon. And lastly, yeah, I promise you, I'm going to get some quarter mile times and stuff, everything like that. I just been having a lot going on in my family, a lot of life-changing things happening. My family got a little bit bigger permanently, and there's been a lot of adjusting and everything like that this past summer. So as things start to kind of calm down, I promise you we will make some time to go to the track, and we will make magic happen, and we will shoot for some amazing times with this tune. Y'all know I'm not afraid to go all out. I will do that. We'll do some runs on all 3 tunes, with full weight, without full weight. It's all coming. Just give me some time. I'm trying to actually get to it before the winter time, so that you guys can get some high DA times, because for some reason people discredit low DA times. So I guess they don't realize that at least where I live at, half the year it's cold and half the year it's hot. So, but either way, I respect it, and I'm trying to give y'all what y'all want. So yeah, that's it. Peace.